there is Hydra. I can't give him this info. Like this guy is already a good player, like maybe the best player ever. I need something for me. I need some
Right,
advantage.
I'm gonna sum up what Ryko just said. He basically came into the show today having a fake tech he was gonna leak to cover up his real tech. So Ari is not what he actually wants to play. There's some next secret he's keeping hidden, but okay, we'll respect it. Welcome everyone to Don't Talk If You Don't Know EMEA episode number 3 with a few surprises this time around. We have DemacianRaptor taking over in the co-host role because Alan had some unfortunate internet issues today, cannot make it to the show. But other than that, we also have 2 reigning champions in their own way. DarkHydra, current EMEA champion from set 9, maybe trying to defend the title this upcoming weekend. And Ryko, our current GSC champion, the holy moly Heartsteel maestro himself, ready to talk to us about maybe his plans for this weekend, if it's still Heartsteel every single game, but we'll find out later in the episode. And I'm, of course, ImpetuousPanda. I'll be hosting the show today and every day from now on. So if you don't like me, unfortunately, you're stuck with me for a while. Well, starting with you, Raptor, you've had a very explosive set. You've been rank 1 global. I think you currently are rank 1 global. You play on UNE, of course. You've been rank 1 on UNE. And you made it to 2 GSCs. I think you got day 2 in both of them, but overall had, I think, a very, very good first set where I see you competing at a very high level. How's it been overall? Set 10, how are you doing right now? Are you still playing at a high level?
This set has been the most fun set. I think I started to play set 6, and this probably is the set I have the best performance on.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I started to compete. Like, I didn't want to compete before because I was nervous. Like, people are going to laugh at me, and I'm going to say I'm bad, they're gonna say UNE is trash, and
I mean,
yeah.
Some people still will, but you're proving them wrong, maybe a little bit.
But yeah, like my friends convinced me to play, and I had like turbo fun, and yeah, I followed it up and didn't have like the best results, but I'm quite happy with my performance this set, like making 2K LP for the first time and like holding them one for a pretty long time. Yeah.
I mean, most people might know you from just being around many different communities, Frodance, for example, as well. This, of course, being Frodan's baby. Don't talk if you know the NA version. But I was surprised also to see you trying to compete and then also succeeding. I mean, making it to GSC is already difficult, but making it the day 2 both times, proving you have what it takes to kind of compete at that level, I think is really, really cool. So hopefully we'll see you still around the community, but also around, the big tournaments in the next few sets as well. Looking at you, DarkHydra, I think you don't need too many introductions. You've been around esports even for a long time with an early StarCraft career and now TFT. And obviously you were around in TFT at the very, very beginning as well. Although there was a bit of a break, you came back in set 8, and now you're still dominant. But how have you been feeling the sets? How's the confidence level at knowing that you're defending your title this upcoming weekend?
Yeah, so far the set has been good. I qualified for regional. That's the goal of every set, I feel like, for me. And yeah, I hope I can show good results at regionals. I'm prepping as hard as I can, and yeah, I hope I do well and can defend my title.
Would you say your set until now has been better than set 9, the regular season, let's say, not counting the finals?
Actually, it's hard to say. I guess I was more consistent in ladder, so I found some ladder snapshots. But I got day 2 in the first GC. Like I lost tiebreaker and got dropped out. But the second GC was surprisingly good. I got like 11th, I think. And yeah, I barely prepped for that. So I'm looking forward to regionals because I actually prepped for the tournament. So hopefully it will be better than
your
11th.
GSC results will be relevant later on as we talk about the previous fantasy draft because you were on someone's team and maybe your performance was relevant to their results in maybe winning the fantasy draft itself. But we'll get there much later into the show today. And Ryko, you're a player that I think also has been around for a long time. Many players know you, but you had a dominant win in GSC 2. With a very specific play style that really you were rewarded for in this last GSC. What was the feeling of finally becoming a TFT champion? Did you go into the tournament with the confidence that you could win, or was it kind of a surprise to you that as every day passed, you were closer and closer?
Hi, ImpetuousPanda. So I started the tournament. I didn't have the confidence to make it to the final day and win, but I was coming from the open qualifier. I started the open qualifier knowing it's gonna be hard. I won the open qualifier, so that gave me confidence. Day 1 finished good, the day 2 finished good, so I'm like, yeah, I have the confidence, I can do it. But my goal, I didn't want to play AR still every game. Like every game was AR and RC game.
I
But
don't believe you.
I wanna.
50 games of Hearthstone. Ryko.
I genuinely wanted to play every game. Another comp, so I'm not gonna say it, but it's my favorite comp. But every time I started RC, so I had to play it. It's my favorite line. When I start RC, I just wanna finish with Ezreal if possible. But yeah. And I'm feeling super great. Like it's super good winning finally a tournament, because Italians in general, they don't win European tournaments, so it's super good. I also never won a Golden Spatula Cup. I finished second only one time, so yeah, it's a good feeling. Yes.
I'm really happy you're here, Ryko, for more reasons than just, I think, you being a very interesting personality and a cool player in the scene, but also I think the topic of Italy as a TR scene, as a country, has had a very interesting up and down the last, since I started casting TFT since set 6. So we'll touch on it when we do the national breakdown for this finals. Okay. And I want to hear your opinion and kind of your thoughts on the scene as a whole, because in set 6, very dominant, and then they kind of went up and down, and I'm very interested to hear why you think that might have been. So we'll touch on that a little bit later. But with the intros out of the way, there's a lot to touch on in terms of updates in the EMEA scene. We're obviously close to EMEA finals, but we had throughout last weekend a lot of the finals for the TRCs. And some pretty big ones as well. Starting off with the French TRC, we had, again, maybe one of the strongest, I think the strongest TRC in country in EMEA when it comes to their circuits. And some kind of surprising results, and I think very cool results. The fact that Enzo returned to great form after not having good tournament success in this set altogether, after being a beast in set 8. And Lekoko, who bombed out day 1, TRC number 2. Maybe he thought his set was over, but then came back strong for the French finals, and they ended up 1 and 2, being on the same team. I think it's a really cool. When I saw the tweet, I'm like, no way these guys held hands to 1 and 2 on the podium while being practice partners and teammates. But do the results surprise any of you, Raptor? Is it kind of this top 8? Is it surprising at all to you?
I mean, we see a lot of familiar names, right? A lot of good players. Canbis, doubles, Lekoko. I know, not real surprises for me. All of the players very good, and of course the French scene been the best in EU.
Maybe Pan is the one big surprise I would say out that maybe stands out. I'm not saying Pan's a bad player by any means, but maybe not that S tier or that A tier, A plus tier that you would see in the top 8 for French finals especially. Is there any other name that you think doesn't quite belong here, Hydra, or do you think generally this is like right now the top in France?
I was thinking Pan too, because I don't really recognize his name, but the other ones are all really good. Like, all great players, so they deserve to be in top 8 for sure.
Yes, maybe, yeah. I mean, Volt also had a really good tournament after not really having the best GSC performances this set as well. But yeah, overall, I think really cool to see. Again, Enzo and Lekoko doing so well. I did hear some rumors about some complaints around the format. I know Experian made a tweet, and maybe a few other players. This is a very different Hex League. In the past, it was a league format. Now it's more of a tournament format, so there is a bit more variance potentially, but overall, I still think it's a very nice top 3. And Canbis and Double had a very good day 2 as well to qualify to the day 3, I think, as well. So interesting the team dynamics in France, especially, where I don't know, it seems like the players are holding hands together and having success in that way. And we'll see how that's prep and how this tournament affects finals as well, because Ryko, I think we all know, France usually very dominant in EMEA finals. Yeah. Do you think, how many French players do you think we'll see in the top 8 this weekend?
I think, I don't know, at least 4, 3 or 4 at least. I don't know.
That's a safe guess. We'll see if DACH and other countries maybe have anything to say to that. We'll see later the breakdown for the nationalities. But looking at the next big TRC is the Spanish TRC, where we had Lalesom popping off. Lalesom is one of the only 2 Spanish players that are going to be playing in this EMEA finals this weekend, alongside Safo. I think this is the second Spanish tournament he's won this set. He's been pretty much dominant the entire set, and the most successful Spanish player overall. Hydra, have you been playing much with Lalesom on ladder? I know he was like 1.9.
I had him in a few in my ladder games. So I recognize him, and he was on top of the ladder as well, like holding rank 1 for a while. So I think he was the favorite for sure. Yeah. I think he was the favorite for sure in this tournament, and it shows in the result as well. Being 10 points ahead. Second place is actually crazy.
You were playing also with him a lot in the scrims these past week. We've been holding in-houses for EMEA. I know he's been doing pretty well. Did you have any of your games? Did you see anything about his playstyle that kind of got your attention?
I don't remember if he was in my games, actually. He might have been in a few, but didn't really pay too much attention to the other players. That's just... tuning my playstyle. Yeah.
He's focused. Have you been playing Ryko, the scrims at all?
I'm watching them a lot, but I'm not playing them. I just played some of them, 2 of them.
So Ryko is a spy.
Yeah.
He's infiltrated. You see if Heartsteel is still good enough or not. And for the last TRC, we had the Northern Legends, which I got to cast. It was a very fun cast with Counterfeit and Stuart. Lalana had a very interesting Game 5 to win. It was checkmate format, which I think is quite different to most of the TRCs, similar to Worlds, of course. And he had, I think, 5 Heartsteel at 2-5. And I guess you can imagine what happened in checkmate format, Ryko, you especially, when you have 5 Heartsteel at 2-5. He had a few more, I think, fairly high roll moments and won his second Northern Legends tournament in a row this set. He also won the GSC2 qualifier right before this one. So in really good form, just unfortunate that he wasn't able to translate that good form into GSCs. Now, DarkHydra, you've prepped with him a lot in the past. Was it the same this set?
We haven't prepped too much with each other. We just talked about the meta and stuff a bit and chatted a bit. But fun fact, in the beginning of the set, he told me he's going to win Northern Legends Finals because he's actually taking the tournament serious for once and he's going to prep for it a bit. So yeah, it worked out for him. He won. So I'm proud of him.
I know he mentioned we did the interview at the end of the show, and he did mention that he was on vacation during Vegas during that kind of initial period of the set, so he felt he had to catch up to GSC1, didn't quite make it in the right form to qualify, I believe it was. So I think, was playing catch up, and just unfortunate that he was able to hit this peak, because he played really well as well. He hit this peak in the TRC, but not in GSCs, and not with a chance to have maybe more than one player, UK player in EMEA Finals. It's only Blast at Moon that actually qualified to be among the top 32 in EMEA right now. And that's really all the big tournaments we had this weekend. I think all kind of the appetizers to what's coming up. Obviously, in EMEA Finals is next weekend. But moving on, we do have a few things to mention for our viewers who want to kind of tune in. We have the pick'ems that are once again available, and we have the broadcast talent. First, for the broadcast talent, I want to ask all 3 of you. There's special guests in these EMEA Finals. We have Chuso, Leftoverture, Kevin Parker, and Memo joining to cast matches on the official broadcast. Would any of you 3 be down at some point in the future to cast matches? Or are you guys focused only on playing? Do you guys see kind of the value, or do you have any interest in doing this kind of stuff? Raptor, for example?
Sure, I think casting as a player, it's really beneficial. You get to watch other players' POV and like try to analyze and realize what they think about how to play the current patch, the set in general. And I think it gives very good value to the viewer as well, to like hear players that actually like involved with the game so deeply and get to play so many games. And me personally, I am gonna enjoy watching those players cast.
And you've casted before on Floren's costume, if I'm not mistaken, his watch party in the past for any tournaments. So I guess you like that experience more than, let's say, an official broadcast, do you think?
Personally, I think for the more involved players, the costume gives more value, because you get to watch and you get to follow a specific storyline, and you get to like watch a specific spot instead of like needing to be watching everyone and being like politically correct. Like you can't flame anyone, right?
That's true. Yes.
On the official broadcast.
I have to hold it in every time.
I think both give different values to the viewers.
For example, if Ryko plays 6 games of Heartsteel on day 1 this weekend, I can't blame him.
I didn't play 6 games of Heartsteel any game.
No, I'm saying if you do this next weekend, I won't say anything. I'll just accept it and say, "Oh, this player has a strategy," but I can't blame you, unfortunately.
As long as I win, I'm glad. I hope that.
And we have the pick'ems as well, something I mentioned. This is very cool. If you guys have never done it, we have them for Worlds as well. I think we've had it for EMEA most of the times. It's a really cool website. It's the graphics are all super cool. You get to pick kind of I believe it's your top 8, your winner. I'm not sure if all 32 ranked. I think they changed that for these last few editions. You also you can pick the augments that are going to be picked most often, least often, I believe. I'll just list a lot of like cool trivia stuff that if you're very involved with TFT and climbing on ladder and playing a lot, you can kind of showcase your knowledge. And I believe there will be some interesting rewards. Not obviously these massive rewards, but still some nice little things that you can earn. But the biggest thing I think is the pride. There'll be a leaderboard, and you can showcase, hey, I follow all these players. I know who's good, who's overrated, who's underrated, etc. Have you guys done the pick'ems at all? Do you guys plan to?
I did do the pick'ems last set, where I picked myself as a winner. So I won the tournament, and then I won some little legend X because I picked myself.
Wait, is that legal? You can double dip like that?
Yep. But
I
have to do my pick'ems for this set. Still haven't done them yet.
Well, you have until, I believe, right until the tournament starts. So right until like Friday morning, but just in case, get them done tomorrow if you guys want to. And I think there's also communities you can join. I'm not sure they have that for this set or not, but in the past, there's communities you can join. If you're a fan of, German streamer, Spanish streamer, you can join the community and you can kind of compare the entire community's results on a leaderboard versus other communities. So I think it's a really cool initiative. Ryko, were you ever included as one of the community members?
I don't know. No, I don't think I was included.
I have like some vague memory that you were, maybe not. Overall, it's like the people that tend to co-stream, I think, are also included in this. So it's a cool way to have their communities involved with the pick'ems and with the show a little bit more than just watching, basically. But looking now at the national breakdown for this EMEA Finals, 32 players. This is the breakdown. Not too surprising across the board. There are some things I'll mention I think that are a little bit surprising. But France, once again, 9 players, the most dominant country. Despite GSCs being a little bit more equal between DACH and France, Germany and France, in EMEA Finals, the last set as well was only 4 players from Germany. Are you surprised, DarkHydra, that France seems to be on top always when it comes to finals themselves?
I think France just has more top players than Germany still. But overall, I'm surprised it's only 4 Germans. I think we have a lot of Germans that could have made regionals, and they kind of just missed out this set.
I believe set 8, there was parity between both countries. It was like 9 and 9 or 9 and 8. And then set 9, so I don't think there was a big drop for reasons. And now it seems to follow that same trend. No Israel Raptor, unfortunately, but hopefully you have the motivation to change that in set 11. Do we trust?
Maybe. I'll definitely try.
Maybe too ambitious of a goal. So let's focus on maybe 2-day 3s or 3-day 3s next set, and then set 12 is your time to make it to finals potentially. And Ryko, this is the moment where I want you to break it down. What is happening with Italy? Because set 6, I started casting TFT, and I hear the Scrap Mafia, all these scary names on ladder, Balotelli, Ryko, Svuller Tiger. Svuller Tiger is one of the players that has made the most EMEA Finals across all the different sets we've had, even before Rising Legends.
Yeah.
I think he has 6 total appearances, which is surprising to me. After I joined, I didn't notice he was so consistent. What happened to Italy from set 8 onwards?
So from set 6, so we can say there were a lot of players, like we can say also Ace of Spades and other players that were tryharding. I think it's something that I think it's because maybe the Italian TRC is not really well known and there is not a lot of money. But maybe tons of players, they don't try hard unless they can stream and make it a job, like me, like Balotelli, like other. So I don't know. I feel like a lot of good players in Italy, they gave up. They are no more tryharding, and this is maybe the problem. And this is why there is not a lot of good top elo players in Italy, because people are like leaving TFT, and it's sad. I feel like it's sad, and yeah, but I think this is the reason.
Do you like the format that Italy has for I know it's a very different format. There's a kind of a league format as well.
So it was a league, but they changed it. Like in this set right now, it's just a singular day tournament. Like it's basically like a Golden Spatula Cup, but in only one day, and it happens like 3 or 4 times, and then there is a final. Yeah, I think I like the format. I don't know. I generally like it this way. Because the last format, like a league, it's more expensive. It's more more effort for me. Yeah, it's more time. So yeah, I like it this way. But it's my personal opinion. I don't know.
Okay. And talking about making a career out of streaming, just to go on a quick tangent into the Italian scene, you're also part of Desire. I think that happened this set when you joined this organization.
Yeah.
Tell us about that story, because I think the graphics that I see on Twitter look really professional. So I just want to know more about the org and just. Your feelings about it.
I got in touch. I entered Desire like two years ago. It's 2 years now, and it's in my opinion one of the best Italian organization. Super innovative, super like they try to be more like North American teams, like Team Fades, Team 100 CS. They want to make good teams, but they also want to have a good image, good
like a lifestyle org, kind of like a good vibe.
Yes. And holy moly, they're gonna fire me if I don't give them a good
holy moly counter. Put one down. We have to. So if you guys don't know, we're gonna count the amount of holy moly that Ryko says.
Like I really like that an organization of this type like wanna spend money and wanna invest in TFT, because first of all, TFT in Italy is not well known, and secondly, being I really enjoy the investment in TFT. It's really good for me. It's like I see that even the teams are believing in some future. So yeah, that's why I also believe in this game.
Nice. I'm happy to hear that. I'm happy to see you alongside Balotelli as well. I met him, of course, in the past already before at the different LAN events that have been held when he played in Malaga for the Double Up tournament. Super nice guy. Obviously, I think everyone knows him from ladder. Player that I hope will do better inside 11. I know he's a player that, was considered a top tier player when I first started casting TFT. Maybe hasn't had the best individual performances when it came to, ladder and GSCs the last few sets, but I think he's a really, really well respected and well-liked player. So
yeah. In my opinion, also, he's a super consistent player. Maybe he doesn't end up winning tournaments, but he can definitely do well. And he did top 6 at the EMEA Finals of set 6. So
exactly.
He can do really well.
So we'll see a big comeback in Italy next set after you win this weekend, right?
Hopefully.
Right, that was a holy moly moment, Ryko. I set you up for it. But going back into a few more updates, thank you, Ryko, for sharing. I've been always curious about the Italian kind of scene and everything, so thanks for the update. Now I know what actually went down, and maybe we'll see an upsurge. Going back to the updates, though, we do have to mention quickly Level Up Berlin. This is going to be for Championship, not for EMEA Finals, but once EMEA Finals is over, the top 4 players qualified to Worlds, so the TFT Championship, and they will be playing like last set in a venue, in a LAN kind of stage in Berlin. If you're anywhere in Germany or in any country where you can travel somewhat easily, you haven't been to Berlin before, go visit. It's free. The tournament itself is free. You'll meet, I think most of the German community will be there. Hydra, correct me if I'm wrong, but
probably more Germans if a German makes it to Worlds again.
You were there last sets. How was the vibe? How was the experience? How was the turn up in terms of what different players or community figures did you see there?
Yeah, honestly, the experience was really nice. The venue was really great. We had everything set up. We could practice on the main stage or in the backstage area with 2 PC setups. We got free food, free drinks. We got snacks.
Wait, don't sell this to the viewers, because there's some viewers. If you're a viewer, you are not getting
viewers
free
have
food.
To pay, yeah.
You're not getting free drinks. Qualify to Worlds and then maybe.
I made a lot of viewers as well, from Germany, cheering us on, and it was just great playing in front of a crowd, to be honest. Just meeting a lot of people involved in the scene.
Were there any people from outside of Germany that made the trip, or do you think that's something that still you have to see more of?
I mean, it was mostly Germans, but a few from outside, like Vita, for example. Yeah.
So if you want to be the first to travel there from France, now's your chance. You can go there and surprise everyone, and I think it's going to be a good vibe. If you haven't been to a LAN event yet for TFT, because it's been hard with TFT kind of growing within the frame of COVID and everything around the world, now's your chance. You can get there and meet a lot of players, maybe prep for Leipzig. We'll have inside 11 in Germany, another LAN event in EMEA. So it's a really good opportunity. And again, it's free. Free is good. So maybe tune in and check it out. And for the final update, but the most important one when it comes to news in this past week, we have the scrims, the in-houses that have been done throughout this entire week, and starting already last week, because I was planning to do it from Monday to Thursday, but players were begging me since 2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago, Panda, can you organize the scrims? We need to prep. We all suck. We have to get better. So we did that, and we're looking at the comps right now. Hydra, you've been playing a lot of the scrims. First impressions, general thoughts?
Well, as you can see, hard steal is the most played comp, like Ryko always does. And other than that, it's mostly reroll comps.
Ryko's looking at the average and he's starting to sweat. He's like, wait, 4.8.
Nah, I already knew everything about these stats because I studied them.
Right. We forgot you're the spy in the scrims. You're not playing, but you're watching everything. When I see that one person in the Google Sheets that have it open, it's Ryko at night just looking through everything. Any surprises, Raptor, from what you've been playing on ladder, what you've been playing in past GSCs to what we're seeing here?
Yes, we're seeing on ladder as well a lot of shift from forecast into the 2-quest river with one of the super fun shit and stuff like that. And we do see it reflect here in the stats. We see the rise of Caitlyn after the buffs, and I'm a little surprised to see Seraphine in the 4x6. I think she's a little better than the 4x6. Maybe players are not playing it from the right spot. But I do want to ask both of you, the players, how do you feel about this dynamic of when do I play focus and when do I rerun stuff? Let's start with Hydra.
You wanna hear my secrets when I go for reroll and I go for focus? I mean, usually I try to go for forecast since I'm more comfortable with that, but when I see the spot for reroll comp, I just go with it. Like good items, I get the right chosen, or like have a good super fan setup, then it's like easy to pivot into reroll comp. And there are so many of them which just require the super fan units and then like kind of similar items as well. You can just flex between the reroll comps.
You wouldn't walk into a game, get a Seraphine chosen with no other Seraphine and say, okay, I'm Seraphine.
Not really, no.
Okay. And like I take it, you play
I think, yeah, that's the same for me. Like
Wait, you can't copy answers, Ryko.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to copy the answer, but
He's
like,
reading his tech,
so generally, as a player, I'm more into the forecast, into the level up strategies. But if there is a good spot, a good reroll spot I recognize, I want to play the reroll. It's fine. But if it's not a good spot, I'm more the guy that tends to not go reroll unless it's a super good spot for the reroll. Yeah, maybe that's also my bad. Sometimes it doesn't pay off. Sometimes I should go reroll. But if I don't see the perfect spot, I usually just go for my forecast comps.
You mentioned, Ryko, that you didn't want to play Heartsteel GSC2 every game or most games. You had a different strategy that you were trying to play, your favorite comp. Yeah. You didn't tell us what it was. Do you want to share with the class what the secret is?
So I don't know if I can share it because it's gonna be maybe my best comp in the upcoming final.
No one's watching. We don't have that many viewers. You can share, right?
But yeah, I really like the Harry. Like everybody is not playing Ari. I like the Ari. I feel like she has some good potential. Yeah.
Mostly with is there any specific, with Sentinels, with the Kali, with just the warrior setup, or just you like that you can do so many different things?
There is Hydra. I can't give him this info. Like this guy is already a good player, like maybe the best player ever. I need something for me. I need some advantage.
I'm gonna sum up what Ryko just said. He basically came into the show today having a fake tech he was gonna leak to cover up his real tech. So Ari is not what he actually wants to play. There's some next secret he's keeping hidden, but okay, we'll respect it. It's not Heartsteel, right?
No, I'm not gonna lie. Like Ari is my favorite comp. But yeah, I don't play Ari every game.
Okay, so I think now you'll just play Heartsteel again. It's like the plot twist. You're just setting it up, and then you'll just play Heartsteel and win the whole tournament with a 2-5 Heartsteel.
Hopefully.
Other than that, looking at the rest of the comps, Senna incredibly strong, 25 times. Obviously, the more a comp is played, the more likely it drifts towards average. In this case, 3.7, very, very high stats for a 2-cost reroll, especially. And we're seeing, I think that's the big outlier. Riven is very strong as well in terms of win rates, but it is kind of a first Wraith comp. If you don't play it from the right spot, I think, I was compiling all the stats, obviously, so I kind of saw the patterns around certain comps, and Riven was almost always, first, 8th, first, 7th, and most of the time it was like a Riven 2 where they didn't hit, and that's why they went 8th or 7th. Disco 4.3. Is that a surprise, Hydra, from the games you've been playing? Do you think players are getting better at optimizing Disco and knowing when to play it?
Yeah, I think the players are getting better at optimizing it, and you should play that combat regions when you're in my lobby.
Okay, so sounds like a little bit of sarcasm there. It has good stats though. I mean, what's the explanation? It's only 15 games, sure, but 4.3?
Yeah, just go for it. Ryko, I recommend you Disco.
Hydra, I'm gonna surprise you.
Okay.
I like that comp.
I don't know how many surprises you have, but
to be fair, we have seen a little rise in Disco play. I think despite the opposite, a full one-day stream would try to analyze how to play Disco and when it performs, why does it perform well? Because of prioritizing frontline and taking the frontline chosen instead of TF. Mm-hmm. And always playing Morello on TF, you don't prioritize TF items, you prioritize the frontline items. It can perform well. You just need to high roll the line a little bit and know what to prioritize.
Mm-hmm. I think, there was many spots where I've seen in the past, also casting games where players are playing it from spots when they have a kind of a choice or a decision to say, hey, I had a Disco open or whatever it is, I can go all in on Disco from spots where they just don't have enough gold, where it's just very unlikely to actually hit and you're close to a good enough board to play fast line after that, or just not the right setup. I think it's a comp that you cannot force from any angle, whereas maybe something like Ari is a bit different, where it's so flexible in terms of what you hit and how you can kind of form the final comp. There is much more flexibility around playing that more consistently and more, I think, regularly in most of your games, regardless of your opener. Any other big surprises when it comes to the stats? Anything that really jumps out aside from 2 games of Evelyn reroll in serious in-house scrims?
Oh, the Olaf didn't perform well, actually. The Olaf reroll, I mean, maybe
3 games, right? Yeah.
yeah, it's only 3 games.
Maybe Punk reroll, actually. Because it's usually good come for top 4, but average of 5, went 0-6. Kind of bad.
I think it might also be if there's slightly less, more 2-cost reroll, the tempo's higher stage 3, and there's a little bit less hard steal compared to the last patch. So there isn't that like very easy, free, massive win streak all of stage 2 and 3, and you kind of bleed out a little bit earlier. You have a few losses earlier.
Oh yeah, it could be.
Where you just, I think, lose too much HP to actually have a guaranteed top 3 or 4, like in the last patch. But again, take it all with a grain of salt.
Well.
Exactly, yeah. It's not a huge sample size. Players have not been playing as much as Scrim Invitational. It's been a bit more quiet. Obviously, there's less players trying to scrim. Only 32 this weekend, so it's kind of understandable. But okay, if that's all the tech you guys have to leak, we can move on to the next segment of the show, and that will be, of course, the power ranking. And we have one official judge on the podcast today, DarkHydra. You do your ranking every time. We will see your ranking individually. One note to make for the judges: Snoonibu will be replaced by Dalesom for this edition and for all editions going forward. You just didn't have the time commitment, didn't really work out with the weekends, and just I'd rather have someone that is fully committed to doing the rankings and making sure they have them ready on time, so we have the graphics on time, etc. So that will be one change, and Solo Gazan will be dropping, and DemacianRaptor will actually be jumping in as an official judge starting from the next edition onward. So we'll have a bit more UNE rep for all the UNE complainers. That's all EU West dominated. We have at least one more person who has eyes on that ladder and can tell when someone is doing well and can kind of showcase that in their individual ranking. But without further ado, let's move on to the snub list first. So these are the players that received votes but did not crack the top 15 of the power rankings for this EMEA Finals. For this ranking, you can only vote for a player that's in the finals. You can't vote for, like Coco, for example, he's not in the finals, etc. Starting off with Experian at the very top, just barely not able to make it, I think, by 3 votes. I think the 15th at 32. Then we have players like Travis, who had a good showing in the last GSCs, maybe not so much on ladder compared to last sets. I'm So Fresh, who got day 1 in GSC2, but still I think had a really good ladder performance this set and deserves to be here. But going with you, Raptor, any name here that surprises you that it's on this list and not on the top 15?
I'd put Zoranash a little better than 4 points. I think he's a good player, and he got Sparta and Experian maybe should be a little higher.
Do you think this is maybe the effect of Heartsteel not being as effective this set or this patch, and them both being players that were playing very first or A styles all throughout last GSC2?
Yeah, it scores very well.
Hydra, you're not on the list. Maybe you got 0 votes. Who knows? But,
probably. Oh, you forgot me again.
are you surprised by any name that's on this list and not top 15?
Probably Experian I would put top 15, but I would also expect Ryko to get more votes since I voted for him and he only has 5 points. I feel like the patch didn't change too much from Golden Spatula Cup 2. Mainly still Heartsteel, and I guess reroll comes a lot. But I think Ryko's riding the confidence from the tournament win and he's gonna do well in regionals.
Ryko, is this a holy moly moment? Yourself?
No, I totally expected this because, I think I still need to, prove myself in the EMEA final. But I would have put it in the top 15, the Experian guy, because he's one of the, he's constantly on top of the ladder in this set. Yep. So I think he's gonna be one guy to fear. And also the I'm So Fresh guy, because he's also the Experian. They are both on top of the ladder. So I think this makes them I fear them more than other players.
Well, we'll see what the top 15 looks like, because maybe you'll fear those players as well.
Oh, okay, of course.
But I'm so fresh. I think the biggest thing with him is probably just the fact that he got day 1 GSC. Of course, it's 6 games. It's not a lot of sample size. It's hard to really tell off of that. He had a great ladder performance, but players are going to look at the recency of the last tournament and say, oh, this player did not perform well. I don't know if I can put him in the top 15. And it's a very competitive field. We're in EMEA Finals, top 32 in EMEA. It's very hard to make a ranking that doesn't include these players, of course, but it's a very, very stacked roster overall. And Experian, he was only 3 points away, so just on the edge of not making it. And I think Experian and a few other French players, they still are kind of suffering from the consequence of maybe not having that much visibility in terms of their experience in a veteran kind of, they haven't been doing this well for as long as other French players. So they're still kind of cementing their reputation coming to this set. But I agree with you. I think Experience has been popping off. I think a few more players in France who are in the top 15, like Tardaman, like Idazor, I think have been popping off and maybe have earned that maybe a tiny bit more. But overall, we'll see. We'll see the top 15 because we're ready. Drum roll, please. Top 15 power ranking for EMEA Finals. Once again, Germany on top, Wet Jungler on top. Not a perfect score like we saw with Double in the historic ranking, but 2 rankings in a row now. Number 1 in the rankings. Is this an agree from you, Raptor? Are you surprised? Do you think there's a more dominant player?
Well, I mean, from watching him on stream, and I think he's a best thing. He's one of the best, if not the best, in EMEA, and yeah, I completely agree.
Hydra, is Wet Jungler someone you're prepping with at all? Is what are your opinions on him as a player after his second place at Worlds, for example, last sets?
Yeah, I think he's at the moment the best player in EU, and I've been talking to him a lot the last few days, and we've been playing scrims together and talking about the game. So I'm sure he's gonna do well. He's confident. Maybe he goes to Worlds again. Who knows?
See, quite a story. maybe Ryko takes a spot.
Maybe.
I don't know. I also think that Wet Jungler is a really good player. I ranked him really high in the EMEA, and he deserves the spot. I take it.
We'll look at both your individual rankings later to see how they contrast with this main ranking. But in this top 3, we do have a different top 3 than we saw before. Double 61 is still there. I think, especially when it comes to EMEA Finals, this is a player that just turns on for EMEA Finals. He takes it very, very seriously. He doesn't play League and get the Challenger like he did maybe coming into GSC2. He's fully locked in every single time, and I think we've seen his performance. He's never disappointed when it comes to EMEA Finals. This may be his tournament more than any other player. So I think regardless of his results recently, although he did very well this weekend, obviously, at the French Cup, the French Finals, player you can't really count out. And Enzo, similarly, I think he had an upsurge this last weekend. He gained a lot of confidence, maybe give our judges some confidence as well that he's back to peak form, because when Enzo is in his top game, I think we saw in set 8s, he maybe is one of the highest peaks in EMEA overall. And then Hydra, 4th place. Hydra, you're happy with this ranking? You're on the list?
Yeah, actually happy. 4th place. I think it's actually a bit higher than I expected.
If you could vote for yourself, where would you put yourself on your ballot?
I would probably put myself 5th.
Okay. Who would you have above yourself? Other than these 3?
It's actually hard to say. I would put Wet Jungler, Double, Enzo for sure above me. Mm-hmm. In the last spot, I don't remember exactly who I voted. 4th place. I put Canvas a bit low on my list because I was... But I guess I'll talk about it later when you show my voting.
Canvas, 5th place, right after you, as you mentioned, had a very good showing last week as well, made top 8 of the Hex League Finals, although he did not have a great result in GSC2. But we could maybe blame a lack of focus, already being kind of partially already qualified, as far as I know, to finals. So let's see this finals this weekend. We'll have a really good understanding of where each player is when they're fully locked in, fully focused. Of course, everything is at stake this upcoming weekend. And then to knock off, as we see here, there's a huge gap between, we see Ging, Salvi, and Chinar in that top 8, but then a massive jump from Chinar 8.0 to Solo 5.4. Do you agree with this, Ryko? Do you think this top 8 is that much further ahead than everyone else?
I kind of agree, maybe on the top 4. I put Salvi in the top 5 at least. I really respect Salvi. I feel like he is one of the best players ever. And I don't know, because Solo Gesang, I feel like he really got better and better. Every single set, he get better. So I don't know. I feel like Solo Gesang might be in the top 8. But it's my opinion. Yeah, maybe that this top 8, maybe it's good, that maybe it's okay that it's so there is such a gap. I don't know, but I would put Solo Gesang in the top 8 also.
I think Chinar is one player to mention because he's really earned, I think, much more respect this set. He's already been one of the quiet, very big performers historically in EMEA, and even in the fantasy draft, players were surprised that no one was trying to buy Chinar, for example. He made day 3, both GSCs. He's had very consistent performances. This set, I think, really across the entirety of EMEA overall. Or do you agree, Raptor, that he's kind of finally getting the rewards for being so consistent?
Yes, I think it's good, and I think he should be a little higher maybe.
Oh.
And I think we will see more surprises in the future.
Do you think Gang will ever be dethroned as the top Turkish player?
It's very possible, yes. It's very possible.
Spicy. Maybe not historically, but on
Yeah,
peak form.
it's possible.
Okay. It's set 15. I mean, Ging. So you guys don't know, but we have stats around the amount of games that players have played in Rising Legends in total. And number one player is Ging. He has 237 official matches within the Rising Legends circuit since the beginning, which is a crazy amount. He has 200 more official matches than someone like Blasted Moon, who's also playing in the EMEA Finals. So it just goes to show how long Ging has been around for. Let me see Chinar. Yeah, Ging shaking, clearly. A few more performances like this, Chinar, and you'll get there, I think. And then look at the rest of the list. Solo, Geduzor rewarded, I think, accurately for his very, very good set, both on ladder. I mean, not so much in tournaments. I think GSC, Chewy didn't do so hot, but overall, I think he's been a really, really good performer for France. Skipayas and then Tardaman, very similar. Zoro, very similar. I think these are French players that have really exploded in this set, starting to get rewarded, I think, for their performances. And then Volta, back in the top 15, was not here, if I recall correctly, the last ranking. And Rubik, another Turkish player to round things off. 3 Turkish players in the top 15. Is this surprising to you, Ryko, that Turkey is not just Ging now?
So technically, I also voted for Rubik. It doesn't surprise me because I feel like Rubik is really good. Also Sign and Salvi, and Ging, but Rubik especially and Ging because I saw them on the ladder and they constantly did well in the EU West ladder. So I think they are good players.
Look at the scrim stats as well. I don't know if you've had it in your games, Hydra, but Rubik has been doing really good in scrim. I think you two are the 2 players who put in a decent amount of volume and also had 3.2 or 3.3 AVPs for the few scrims you guys played. Have you been playing with him at all? Do you recognize his gameplay or his game style at all?
Not really, no.
Okay. You're just Giga focused.
I lost 9 games that I played in the EU scrims, and then I played the other scrims with the NA people, mixed EU NA, and I played 30 games-ish of those. Mm-hmm. So those 9 games are way back in the past, so I don't remember them clearly. Gotcha. So I can't really say how good he played in those 9 games if I played with him.
And Volta being back in the ranking, what are your, all 3 of you, thoughts on Volta in this set specifically? Do you guys think he's going to come back and maybe get a chance to go back to Worlds after last sets? You met him in Berlin, obviously, Hydra. What was your experience like meeting Volta in person? How is he in person? He seems a bit...
He's a nice guy, actually. It's a bit hard for him to communicate because he doesn't speak English too well, but overall I had a good time with him. Okay. We played some ladder games, sniped each other and stuff. Fun time.
And do you think he's in good form for this finals? Do you think he can maybe...
I think he had a really good start into the set, where he was top 10 with 2 accounts. He was really pushing the ranked ladder. Mm-hmm. He was playing for snapshots, and then he had 1 bad snapshot, and he kind of just lost motivation after that, and then he just was kind of stuck in the lowerish LP. But he has been doing well in the GCs and qualified for regionals that way, and I think if he's gonna prep for regionals, he's gonna perform well for sure. He's one of those guys that can always perform.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think it's a lot of French players, maybe it's a case of focus to some degree, where now there's no excuses. Everyone is locked and loaded for this weekend. There's, no one is not try-harding or not taking it seriously. I think everyone is trying their absolute best because Worlds is at stake. I think everyone, that's the main goal for most competitors in EMEA, is making it to Worlds, or if they've made it already, making it and doing better than last set. In your case, for example, Hydra. So we'll see. I think it's the real test, and no one can say anything like, oh, I wasn't trying. It's going to be the real test this weekend to see who's actually, the top performers, the S-tier players. I wanted to quickly go with all 3 of you, starting with you, Raptor. One player that you think should significantly change their position in his top 15, either higher or lower.
Significantly, I think Skipper should be a little higher. I don't think there should be significant changes here.
Mm-hmm. Hydra?
I go with the same with Raptor. I would put Skipeos lower.
Oh,
instead of higher.
We have a discussion point here for later.
But it's just because I don't really like his playstyle too much, the way he's playing, and I feel like it's good against lower skilled players. So he's good against those, but in high stack lobby, he's not gonna perform too well.
What do you think his playstyle is? Can you define it for our viewers who don't maybe know as much?
He plays some really weird comms, off meta comms usually, and pushes level, takes weird augments sometimes, makes some weird decisions that sometimes can pay off if he doesn't get punished by strong lobby, and sometimes it's not gonna pay off. Mm-hmm. So it's a bit, it depends a bit on the lobby and stuff, and if he has like a good day, he can still do well, obviously, but just because I don't enjoy his playstyle doesn't mean it's bad, right? So
yeah, it just maybe is jarring for you to look at, or you don't kind of vibe with it, but it could still, in his different way, it could work out.
Could still perform, yeah.
And Ryko, for you, any player that you think should be much higher or much lower on this list?
I agree with DarkHydra. Maybe Skipaius. I just put him like maybe. No. But he is a really good player.
You want to move him sideways now, down, up, and then to the side.
But yeah, I maybe I would change. I feel like Salvi deserves more. I don't know, because that top 5, top 6 is already super stacked, but I think Salvi in tournament is maybe like is one of the guys that I don't want to face in tournament. So I must say Salvi like in top 5 at least.
And Salvi, we haven't mentioned it because it happened a little bit longer ago, but he is the German champion for this set. He did win the German TRC, the Prismatic A1 League. So he's also a player that has the confidence of winning another championship, although it being kind of a smaller one. He did really well, of course, in set 7, where he was very, very close to making it to Worlds as well in the top 8 in that final lobby with Dragonlance. So maybe going to go for a comeback.
Yeah, the thing with Salvi is he's been doing really well in the GC and TRC. Like he won TRC, he got second place in GC, and first GC he was really like day 3, top 15, somewhere along those lines. The only thing that stood out to me this set and other set is his ladder performance. I feel like he's just playing more for fun in ladder, which is why he's low LP, but he's taking the tournament serious and it shows in the results. Yeah,
I think a lot of the opinions on most of the judges are high-level ladder players who do a lot of their judging, depending on if they see these players in the lobbies, if they see them doing well, because I think that is obviously the most accurate way to rate a player's level when you have a huge sample size on ladder. So I get why some players might not be believers just yet, but I agree with you, Ryko. I think Salvi is a player you can't count out. I think similar to someone like Volta, they're just someone that can always do well in EMEA Finals especially. And one player I'll mention who is not on the list that I think should be is Dalesom. He's in the chat as well. I think he's really popping off in scrims, had very good patches on this set. I think he's a player that can do well when it comes to having to clutch up and play for maybe the hard steal and kind of first or eighth style in many games, but also has got a reroll recently. So 2 Spanish players. We had 0 Spanish players last set. I was very, very sad, very disappointed. We have Safa and Dalesom now. I am a believer they've been prepping together with Chuso, and I think they can actually do really well. And Dalesom, I think he was like 21st or so when it came to the points, so they didn't crack the top 15, but I think it can be a big surprise this weekend. A lot to see, and that ends up panning out. And regarding the totals, them being a bit odd, the ordering, it's because some players are judges, so their average score is divided by more people that can vote for them or can't vote for them, basically. So the totals are correct. It's just you're divided by one more person, basically, in the case of Canvas. Yeah, that covers everything with the power rankings. I think it's a very accurate power ranking for the most part. I think the players that did well this sets that maybe could have been overlooked have not been overlooked. Players like Geduzor, players like Tardaman. I'm glad they made it into this ranking. I think it reflects their form coming into this EMEA Finals. But with the rankings out of the way, we come to the most fun parts, well, almost the most fun part of the tournament, of the podcast, which will be the fantasy draft. But first, the agree or disagree with chat interaction as well. So we're going to have the chance for chat to get involved with the polls and with these different statements. You can vote if you agree or disagree. I'll, of course, go to our different members here on the podcast, and you guys can give your opinions on these statements. First one, drum roll, please. Is it controversial? Is it not? The addition of portals as a permanent set mechanic is a great thing for the game. This, of course, is from the learnings article that was published by developers in this last week, which I'm not sure if Mortar was the one writing it or just in general the devs stated that portals will be a mainstay mechanic like augments have been in the past few sets for all sets going forward. Raptor, agree or disagree?
So at the core, I do agree. I think removing those corruption is very good for the game. It's mechanic that shouldn't be in the game. The checker who can click faster on his mouse. But I do need to put... you need to not put 4 fun portals, like so many 4 fun portals. You can have 1, you can have 2, you can have the Crabrig and Wandering Diner and whatever, but you need to make sure the portals are A, fun and not the Sump or something shit like that, and B, to have balanced and like low impact portals and the 4 fun portals. So yes, I agree, but with an exclamation.
I mean, coming to this set, they did have a bit more control. Obviously, we had Wandering Trainer and a few more added now at kind of the later stages of the set. But overall, the idea was to have a bit less variance with the portals and have them be a little bit less warping, I think is what you're trying to say. Hydra, agree or disagree?
With the statement itself, I agree that it's a good thing that they stay permanent in the game, because the opening carousel wasn't that great, even though I enjoyed it a lot. But yeah, I agree with Raptor as well, because I hate most of the portals, so most games I'm already tilted going into the game. So yeah, there should be a bit, maybe they should like get like a system where there's like one for fun portal, one like non-impactful portal, and then let players choose. Because sometimes you can just get 3 bad portals, and then I know you're stuck with a bad portal, like Wandering Trainer, Full Prismatic, Prep Rave. I don't know, just throwing.
We'll have like a fail-safe, where you have like some categories and you're always going to have one from like a low impact category, for example.
One low impact, one higher impact maybe, so.
Yeah, that makes some sense.
There's some variants.
Ryko, as a Hearthstone enjoyer?
I agree. I agree because I like the portals in general. Bad and good ones. I like them. It's fine.
Do you guys think there will ever be a thing where in tournaments some portals are banned or are not available? Do you think that the tech will ever be there? Do you think there's any Riot will ever agree to this, for example, or no?
No, and I don't think it should be, because for a viewer, like, it's so fun to see like Wandering Trainer and Club. It's like, for viewers, it's fun.
For what it's worth, as a caster, I'm always on your sides. I'm always, telling makes we don't want to pick Wandering Trainer. We want to go for low variants. But
Wandering Trainer is actually fine. Like, whereas once,
if you high roll, maybe.
I mean, I'm a known high roller. Fine.
I do agree with Ellison, though. If you are not a top 4 player in your lobby, just vote for the for fun portal. At the start of the set, when I was playing in Wild Rumble Outer Race and playing a lot, I was relatively, in high level lobbies all throughout the first maybe 2 weeks of the set. I was voting the highest variance portal I could possibly vote for to try and find any kind of edge when I'm playing against, DarkHydra or Volta or all these big names. So I agree in that sense. If you're in a GSC day one, if you don't even know how you made the GSC, if you qualified a little bit by luck, maybe that's your opportunity to vote for fun and try and, high variance your way into day 2.
You know what this reminds me? It reminds me, like, I would say the same. I don't know if it's, like, I would say the same for the people that vote playing in a 2 days patch, because like they can't compete and then they vote for playing in a 2 days patch Golden Spatula Cup. That's the only way. Yeah. Like, this is my take. It doesn't. If
you know you are a worse player than the field on average, the more variance you have in your games, the better.
Yeah,
that's mathematically
that's
correct. So we're on agreement as always. I don't pick very controversial statements, it seems. Moving on to agree or disagree number 2. Very different topic. A 4v4 team-based competition is a format Riot should continue trying to develop and allocate resources towards. And an idea here is what a TFT World Cup, for example, would look like. For 4v4 tournaments, we have the current one is being played unofficially, not from Riot. Marpina and Lornik are playing a 4v4 tournament. I participated with a Spanish team. It's very fun. It's obviously not the highest stake tournament, but there are some big teams overall. Enzo was playing with Coco, for example, the French team. Zora was in it. There's a lot of big Spanish teams with Odessa and Chusor playing one team, Balesom and Safo on another. It was really fun. We had Super Brawl last set, didn't have it this set, but do you guys agree it's a format that could continue to be developed and could be continued to kind of have it as an official format in the future, maybe with a TFT World Cup, similar to like a football World Cup where you have the top 12 or 16 biggest countries in the world competing in like a group stage 4v4 format into a championship bracket? Raptor, agree or disagree?
So I actually played in a 4v4 tournament like 3 days ago, I think, and it was very fun. It was very enjoyable. It brings to the table like things that you don't think about when you play solo queue or when you play a competitive solo. I think I agree, but with all the things that are happening in esports right now, the question is, does Riot have the resources to allocate to those tournaments? Like, as long as it doesn't affect the TFT that we know right now, then yes, I think it could be a good thing.
So you think it's a positive, but you wouldn't have it replace anything in the current structure for the most part?
Yes.
Hydra?
Yeah, I agree with the statement. I think 4v4 tournaments are a lot of fun. Like the Super Brawl was a lot of fun in set 9. And I really enjoy playing with other people, like being in voice and just having fun playing the game. And playing a tournament makes it even more fun, so it's always nice. The only thing I'm a bit concerned about is like when do you do the 4v4 tournament, because I feel like there are already a lot of tournaments right now with like TRC going on, GC, ladder snapshots. It's a lot of time investment if you don't play full-time TFT.
Mm-hmm. I think the magic with this is that you can have subs on a team and you can do it during the week, midweek, very slow pace in terms of it's not done in one weekend. You can space it out. The Lornik Lumarpin tournament that's being done now was spaced out over several patches in several weeks. So it's very low commitment. You can even reschedule matchups. Of course, it's not really an official tournament, so it's much easier. But the general idea is if you have, say, instead of a 4-player team fixed, one for play, I don't know, let's say you do a World Cup for countries like France, it'd be hard to pick only 4 French players.
Yeah, true.
But if you have an 8-player roster you can shuffle different players for each team, and have availability, be easier and all this, I think it could work out midweek, for example. Just have it be more slow paced. But I agree if it's official from Riot, that might be a little bit difficult. So we'll see.
Yeah, but overall, I think it's a really great thing. I would love to see it.
Ryko, do you have any Super Bowl experiences to talk about?
Yeah, I agree. I like the 4v4 team base. I also think like the first time I listened something about 4v4 in TFT, I was like, holy moly, this is the future of TFT. Because in my opinion, the 4v4 like takes out everything, every RNG aspect of the game. But yeah, also I have the same concerns because maybe like it's not gonna be easy making this game a 4v4, or like I don't know if they have the time, etc. So I agree, but I don't know.
So we'll see what can be cooked in the future. I'm also a big proponent. I really like it. In Legends of Runeterra, the card game from Riot that I casted before TFT, we had Lore Masters, and it was kind of a nation-based tournament in Europe. One of the highlights of my casting career. Super, super fun. Very unique format. There was like a ban, like draft ban phase, like in League, but for a card game and for like decks. Very, very unique. And all the players that participated, they loved it. They all had like really, really glowing reviews around the extra layer of strategy that normally adds, because even in TFT, the aspect of communicating, the aspect of how carousels are different, how choosing specific comps, like there's another layer of very, very, I think, high level complexity added on top of already a complex game like TFT. So it really does at the highest level, without taking into account like matchmaking and all this stuff, I think add like a really interesting element to a TFT tournament. So we'll see. I also agree though, for the record. Final agree or disagree before I move on to the fantasy draft. After set 4's Chosen and set 10's Headliner mixed results as set mechanics, Riot should never bring this mechanic back in future sets. Raptor?
Played a lot in the nearing future. We had it for set 4, we had it on set 10. We don't need it until set 30. I think it was an experience. It was fine. It was fun at the beginning, but it warps the game in a certain way that I don't really like.
Okay. Hydra?
I agree with the statement. I don't like Headliner or Chosen. I feel like it feels like a worse TFT to me. Overall, I liked set 4 and set 10, like the units itself and like the game, how it felt, but the Chosen mechanic just kind of ruined the sets for me a bit.
Ryko?
I strongly disagree because I really like the Chosen mechanic. I didn't like it in set 4 because in the way it was proposed in set 4, it was I wanna have the Chosen that gives me flexibility, but in set 4 you pick a Chosen, you can't find another one. But in this set, in my opinion, with the Chosen, like the gameplay is super fluid, super dynamic. So I like it. I mean, I disagree with this. I would love Chosen. Maybe not in the next set, maybe not in the next 2 sets, but maybe, I don't know. Like sooner.
Finally, after 6 of these, we found one where everyone does not agree or disagree on the same thing. Thank you, Ryko. I picked a good one. Okay, so now I know to talk about set mechanics, and then I'll find some disagreements. I agree. Actually, I'm not a big fan. With this set specifically, I imagine, I think the base of this set, the thematic base, everything else around it, I felt the same with set 9 to some degree, is very good, but it feels like the set mechanic is like a asterisk that weighs down a bit negatively on the set. I imagine what the set would have looked like without Chosens, and I don't know, I think it would have been obviously different because you have to balance and change things around so it works out, but I imagine it being better in my experience. I haven't been a huge fan. I haven't been playing as much the last few weeks since I kind of stopped having to as much. I've also just been watching more for these next few tournaments, but I'm looking forward to set 11. Let's say it like that, basically. So I agree, it should not come back, in my opinion. But with that out of the way, it's time for the most important part of the podcast, the most fun part for me after finally doing my first fantasy draft in last week's or 2 weeks ago's episode. The fantasy draft is here for EMEA Finals. Only 32 players on the competitor list. The best of the best. It's going to be much harder. I think for GSC2, with 64 players to choose from, it's too easy to choose a very good team. In this case, maybe a bit harder to have that, expendables A-tier team with all these great superstars. But for quickly looking at last time's draft results from GSC number 2, a big round of applause and congratulations to Kevin Parker, who was flaying for the team he chose, full of Germans. But in the end, everyone on his team, except for Kevin himself, made it to day 3 and made a very far run. So Kevin had to take a hit. He sacrificed himself in day 1. But with that, he was able to elevate all his other German competitors, and Ryko just added into day 3 and into very, very good results. And DarkHydra, you were one of the reasons. 91 points, very good, 11th place in the day 3 of last GSC. Yeah, I finished second, pretty happy. Listen, if I am, disappointed by Coco getting day 1, I accept that. That is an anomaly. So I think I was in contention to winning as well. And Alan, 25
I'm surprised you finished second while picking Alan. Achievement.
I was playing with 4 players and I still almost made it. And then we have Alan, 3rd place. Again, he had 2 players day 1, and then overall mixed result, but still had to run the double, and Zoro did pretty well. And Noel with maybe what could be historically the worst result in maybe all future fantasy drafts as well. Not a single player made it past day 1. If Noel is ever on this podcast again and he chooses you on his fantasy draft team, you are going to be cursed. You're going to be day 1. Because there are some big names here. Cambiz, Ging, Experian, all did not make it past day 1 of GSC2. Any big surprises with how this draft turned out for any of you?
Raptor, the marriage lineup looked stacked and he got barely any points. So yeah, bit of a surprise there.
Did you guys, Raptor, you were watching last episode. Hydra, were you watching as well?
Yeah.
So you guys know kind of the vibes. Ryko, were you watching?
So I didn't watch, but I imagine the good vibes.
Let's see Ryko's strategy. So quick rule reminder for all of you. We have $100, which will be euros in the next episode, I promise. We'll make this, officially EMEA. You have $100 to bid with and to acquire players. It's like an auction. We will go in order, starting with Raptor. He's going to bid 1 player. We're going to see current bid, and then we will take turns going higher on his bid if we choose to take that player. And then once that, the person goes highest, no one else wants to go higher than that, that person keeps the player, and the cost that they auctioned for is deducted from their budget. You need at least $1 for each player. So keep this in mind when you have few slots left or you have little money. You have to at least have $1 left over for your last player. Other than that, you can start the bid at $1 or you can start a bid at $20 or $30. That's up to you. It's up to your strategy and whatever you want to do. And I won't give you any tips. This is for you to learn on your own as you progress. But Raptor, you can start us off. Who is your first bid for the EMEA Finals Fantasy Draft?
I'm bidding. I put my money where my mouth is, and I bid Skipaeus in the dollar.
Skipaeus, $1. Does anyone go higher on Skipaeus?
It's your side, picking.
No.
I'm gonna go Skipaeus for $7.
It's yours.
Okay. I will take Skipaeus for $7. And now I'm not the one doing the fantasy draft, so I'll be able to stay focused on how the bids are happening, thankfully. So that will be Skipaeus for me for $7. I think a steal. And $2 cheaper than Alan, GSC2. I will take that. Hydra, your turn to bid.
$1 on Experian.
$2. Okay. 4.
I'll go 5.
We can go up by more than $1 each bid, guys. We have $100 to work with. I know the economy is not so good in EMEA right now, but we have
no, but yeah, we are 50 players, so we try to be
min max.
Yeah,
min max, yeah.
Min max, but we don't have an hour to do the fancy.
Okay. I got it. It's fine. You can pick Experian.
Okay.
Experience for $5. That's the final bet.
Yeah.
No one wants to go higher. Hydra, Ryko, no.
No, I'm fine.
Okay. Raptor, Experience for $5. I have to be careful if I bid for small amounts because I have only 4 slots left. I think that's a good steal. So Experience for $5. Ryko, your bid now.
Salvi, $1.
$5.
Salvi, $5.
$10.
$10 for Salvi. The German champion. 20 for Salvi from DemacianRaptor.
15.
Wait, he went
Salvi.
Raptor or Ryko. Raptor just bid 20 for Salvi.
Sorry. I didn't see. I
don't know what Italian tactics these are, but you cannot go lower on the bid.
No. I'm sorry. Nothing with mafia or anything like. No. I'm fine. You can pick Salvi for 20.
For 20.
22.
22.
25.
I like how you said he can have him for 20.
If you want it, I also want it.
Ryko has some advanced strategies, Hydra. We're not ready for this. He's first underbidding on illegal amounts and then overbidding after we pass. So 26 Raptor, is that the current bid? Okay.
Yes.
Anyone higher for Salvi, the
fine.
current German champion. This is the second best TRC in EMEA. He's a champion of it.
27.
27. Hydra's convinced.
28.
28 for Salvi from Raptor. Ryko, it's your moment. No?
I'm okay.
He's okay.
Okay, 30.
30 for Salvi. We're getting close to the all-star levels. Usually in NA in the fantasy draft, so you know Ryko as well.
You said 30?
Before.
Yeah, 30.
The absolute
31?
best players, the S tier players, Ryko, tend to go from $35 to $45.
Okay.
But just keep it in mind as a relative value if you'd like. So you're on 30. What was the last bet?
31.
31 for Salvi from Raptor. You finish off at 31?
Ryko,
Yeah.
your turn again.
I'm fine.
Ryko's been fine for a while. All right. Raptor,
All right.
Salvi for $31. 2 players now on your team. 3 slots left. Hydra and Ryko are still waiting to get involved in the competition. They're biding their time. Oh, Ryko, you can vote for yourself. This is not like the rankings. You can bet for yourself if you'd like.
Okay.
And it's my turn to bid. I will put up. I'm gonna go with Chinar for $10.
11.
11 from Raptor.
I'm fine.
15.
15 from Hydra. Ryko, at some point, maybe the players will run out if you don't get involved.
No, I'm fine. I'm fine. I know my shots. I know.
For someone who's never watched a fantasy draft, you're very confident. You have like already a whole plan ready to go. You have like a spreadsheet on the side, like Bryce, with like the best values for each player. So
Doesn't
we're
work out well for Bryce though.
15 for Chinar. That's the last bid.
I'm fine.
Good
I
for
will
you.
go 16 for Chinar.
17.
I will go 18 for Chinar.
Gotta go 20.
20. Okay, you can have them. DarkHydra, first player, Chinar, $20. Raptor, your bid.
I'll go DarkHydra for 62.
DarkHydra for $62. A bold move. Hydra, you have $80 to work with.
I mean, yeah.
You bet yourself in the pick'ems last season. You had confidence in your own results, and you won both EMEA champion and almost.
Yeah, but I think I'm going 3rd or 4th place this time. So make it 2 worlds, but I'm not winning. So I'm
65?
not gonna take. No. Can have me for that much.
Ryko, is this part of your plan? Are you betting 65 for Dark?
DarkHydra was one of my guys, but yeah, you can have him.
Go for it.
You
Spend the
can
money.
have him. You can have him.
All right, Raptor, 64, DarkHydra. Locked
62.
in.
I can't play 64. 62.
62. Okay, yeah, my mistake.
The Raptor can't bid anymore.
I can
Yeah.
bid $1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Raptor is pretty much locked out, so you would no one else wants. Which is, I mean, it's still EMEA Finals. It's all pretty much only good players, so it won't be that much of a downside, I think. But that is going to be most likely the highest bid for this fantasy draft. Hydra, how do you feel about being, at least from the fantasy draft, considered?
Thanks, I guess.
He has the extra confidence now. Raptor, you said
Appreciate it, Raptor.
for success. So that's DarkHydra or Raptor for this issue.
I'm gonna end now because of the fantasy draft.
It's all set up. Hydra, your bid.
Yeah. Voltarius, $1.
5.
Oh, Ryko's waking up.
Oh, it's one of his players.
He's one of his guys, as you said. Okay, so Raptor, you're out of contention. You can't bid for Volta. Volta, $5.
I'm going 10.
10 for Volta.
13.
13. You know, went to Worlds last set. One of the historically best players in all of the EMEA, only for $13, Ryko.
I mean, Panda, you can bid as well.
I'm good. I'm good.
I'm
not
going
sure
14 then.
I'm going to believe in the French that much. This
Count that Ryko have Volta for free.
16 for Volta.
16.
Let me check the list. No, I'm going 18 Volta.
You can have Volta for me. You can have
18?
Volta.
All right, DarkHydra. You acquired Volta for $18, staying at a nice, $20 average level. I like the strategy. Gotta get 5 great players, maybe not the best, but maybe greats. We'll see if that's gonna be the game plan. And let's see now. It's gonna be Ryko, your bid.
I must say, double 61.
Ooh,
$5.
$5 for double. I will go $25 for double.
$30 for double.
Hydra,
It's fine.
No, I'm out.
not interested.
Nope.
I will do 32 for double.
35.
36.
38.
39.
Double is yours. I mean, it's not mine. Holy.
I'll get double
Can I-
for $39.
Ryko, you sure you don't want any players? Or?
Oh.
No, I want some players. Like you.
This is a pretty genius strategy. Gonna have full selection over the leftovers once we're all done. So my bid, I'm gonna bid Dalesom for $1.
10 for Daresom.
Hydra,
I'm out.
all right. Ryko, Dalesom is yours.
Panda.
Oh, okay. My first
Really?
player. Nice.
I don't have that much money. If I got him for 1, I would take him. Dalesom, I'm sorry, but I can get you for 1. I need to buy a few more players with 54. Raptor,
I don't
your
think you
turn to
can bid on anyone. I don't know. So I'm bidding now, right?
yes, you are bidding, and there's a mix-up. Dalesom is going for $10 to Ryko, not for me, unfortunately. For 1, I would like this, but Ryko has Dalesom for 10. And Raptor, you can bid.
Okay. So I'm gonna bid bricks for 1.
Bricks for 1. Anyone want to bid for bricks for more than $1? Ryko's strategy is finally showing up. He's outbidding Raptor, so he's still locking his players 1 by 1. Bricks for 2. Hydra, are you interested?
Nope.
Well, Raptor, unfortunately, you can no longer bid for bricks. So, Ryko, bricks is yours for $2.
Wait, I'm bidding now, right? For players?
Yes.
Let's go Ken bis 10.
And is 10. Hopped off in the French tournament last weekend. Is in good form.
I'm gonna say 15 for Canvas.
15 per canvas. It's expensive for my budget. But I could have both cousins. That's something special. I think that's like a
Yeah, you should go for it.
team.
So much
synergy.
money still.
All right, canvas for 16.
18 Canvas.
19 for canvas.
22.
Hydra?
22.
Ryko wants it. 24.
24.
That's a good bit.
25. 25.
25 for canvas.
26.
Look, I know Hydra, it's a strat. I know your strategy. You know what? It's yours. I'm not gonna pay 26.
Right. 26 canvas goes to DarkHydra. And we're starting to even out our, well, except for Raptor, of course, our totals. And Ryko still has to get involved with the major players. You put him up to bid, right, Hydra? Canvas?
Yeah, I did.
All right. So Ryko, your bid next.
My best player is gonna be Solo Gesang, $1.
$1.
You open up with confidently saying he's going to be your best player on your fantasy draft team, and you bid $1 for him.
No, I mean $1 because it's the start of the bid. Yeah, I'm gonna bid more later.
But you can start the bid higher. You know this, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna start with $1.
Okay. Hydra,
$5.
$5 for solo. Have you been prepping with solo at all for this tournament?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay. Any insider information?
No. It's gonna
Otherwise-
influence the bid.
$5, Ryko.
15 for Solo.
15. Hydra.
Panda.
I'm not interested in solo. I love him as a player, but my strategy is elsewhere.
17.
20 for Solo.
20 for solo.
Who does Ryko want next?
I
I mean, 21 solo is actually fine.
21 solo.
22. Please.
You can't beg in the middle of the bid. You have $88, Ryko, and you're begging Hydra not to bet above 22.
No, he thinks he can keep the money to buy Bulgar later.
At 23.
26 for Solo.
26. Yeah, you can have him.
Right. Ryko, $26 for solo song. My turn to bid. I will bid for Ryko for $1.
I'm out.
Don't do the Allen to me. If you do the Allen to me, I'm never doing this again. No, I think $1 for Ryko would be, absolute steal. I would be very, very happy.
Look, I must say $5, but please take me. Like, I don't want to take myself, but I don't want to see myself with $1.
I mean, 5 is good, right?
5 only,
You can
Ryko?
have yourself.
Think people are going to see the fantasy draft on Twitter, and they're going to see you only for $5, and they'll think, this guy's not very good if he's going for $5. You have to hype yourself up, you know?
Yeah, but I don't want to take myself.
You can raise.
Hydra voted for himself in the pick'ems last set. He won EMEA. Maybe that's the secret.
Okay,
Yeah.
You know what? 25 for myself.
All right.
If
that's
Hydra
really good.
won...
I believe in 25. And if you win, you'll thank me. All right?
Okay,
Like,
okay.
Clearly, I always caster bus players. Everyone knows that. I never curse them, so you'll have
Sure.
nothing to blame me for. Ryko for 25. Hydra, are you interested?
No.
Current GSC champion.
25 is too much for me. I'm poor.
Right.
I only have 36.
All right, Ryko, you went from having a lot of money to having very little money. $25 for himself.
Okay.
Locked in. You have, still 37. That's respectable for a last big bet.
And it was his plan, right? So is he one above me?
Next bid is you, Raptor.
Zone
for $1. Anyone interested in Zul and Ash? Great scrim stats in the Scrim Invitational. Thought they won, unfortunately, in GSC 2. But he's an underrated player, for sure, I would say.
Ryko, do you not want him?
So he's a super good player, but I want another player.
All right, guys, don't let Hydra trick you. You have one slot, you have to use it. Hydra is very clearly trying to pay you.
Maybe.
All right, Zul and Ash for Raptor for $1. Sold. Hydra, you're up.
Vet Jungler, 15.
What jungler for 15? What jungler for 16?
36. Sorry, 37. 37.
There we go.
All in. All in. Pocket aces for Ryko. I'm going to go ahead
How
and
does
say
Panda?
38 for White Jungler. Yes, I do. I would like White Jungler. It was a core strategy of my last draft. He's my core strategy for this draft. So 38's White Jungler sold to myself. Wonderful. And Ryko, your bid.
My bid is Shirkane, $10.
$10. You can use all
You
your
can
money.
you can use all the money. Yeah.
If you want to.
Okay.
Like you can just pick the player you want. You have
Yeah.
more money than anyone.
Just pick a player.
Basically,
Cool.
whoever you choose now is yours because you have more. We all have less money than you.
Look, you know what? I'm still gonna say Shirkane, $10.
Okay. I like it. I like the confidence. Kane
Actually-
was rank 1 this set. How did it come back? Oh, second guesses.
I wanted to steal
Great.
the players from Hydra. Holy moly.
I should have picked Salvi then.
Right, goes it Kane or no?
Yeah, Shirkane. Yeah,
All right,
Shirkane.
Kane for 37.
37, okay, 37 Shirkane.
Or Ryko, and Ryko completes his team with a very nice mix of nationalities, 5 different nationalities represented. Ryko believes in all of EMEA as a whole, not in one country. I like it. That will be your final bid, and that's your final team, Ryko. I hope you're happy, because that's
Okay, yeah. I'm
your
happy,
squad for the
actually.
weekend. My final bid will be, I'm going to go with Ging for $1.
$17.
$17. So it's yours. I no longer have money.
I'm gonna go with Enzo for one.
Enzo for $1.
Enzo 19.
Enzo 19, also yours. Hydra finishes off his team and a pretty stacked team. Chinar, Volta, Cambis, Ging, Enzo, fully Turkey and France. Not a bad strategy to have for
I'm a believer.
EMEA finals. I'm not surprised you are. No German players on DarkHydra's team.
That's because Raptor rolled a bit.
All I'm saying, no German players on your team. I'm sure
Just wait.
all the players you're prepping with will be very happy to see that you don't believe in any of them for the fantasy draft.
Sure. I don't want to curse them, so I didn't pick them.
And I guess it's just my bid now, because Ryko and DarkHydra cannot.
Yeah.
So I will handpick basically my next 2 players, and I will go for, I'm gonna go with Yedusor for $2. Which, looking at it like this, looks like an absolute steal. Raptor, your bid.
I'll take Travis for one.
Travis for $1.
Yes.
Travis for $1. I'll take Travis for 2.
Then I'll take Tropical.
Tropical, the EUNE believer, Raptor, putting his money where his mouth is.
Yeah.
Tropical for $2, and that concludes the fantasy draft for EMEA Finals. My team, Skipeus, Double 61, Wet Jungler, Edusor, and Travis. Raptors team, Experian, Salvi, $62 for DarkHydra, Lunash, and Tropical. DarkHydra, Chinar, Volta, Canvas, Ging, and Enzo. Very stacked team on paper. And Ryko,
Not only on
Dalisom, who yoinked Dalisom from me. I'll never forgive him. Bricks, Sologasan, Ryko, and Shurkane. Raptor, are you happy with your team?
I'm very happy, yes.
You regret any of your strategies?
No, I think I got very good players, and we'll see the results when the event ends.
Hydra?
I'm really happy. I got a lot of players I'm scrimming with, so I think they're well prepped.
Did you prep the strategy at all coming into the draft?
No.
Voting, average amounts for.
I just wanted to go for consistency, and I felt like I have 5 really good players that can all pop off in the tournament.
Agreed. Ryko, any regrets?
I'm happy, but my original team, I wanted I have 0 of them, but it's fine. I'm okay with my team.
Can you share with us your original plan?
So I wanted double with Jungler, DarkHydra, Salvi, and the last one maybe, I don't know. Last one was a Jolly, but yeah, I didn't pick anyone. It's fine. I think I have good players that performs well in tournament and also in ladder, so it's fine.
You basically econ for the entire game, and then you roll 50 gold and hit nothing.
Whoa! He hit a GSC2 champion. Ryko, are you a believer in your chances?
So I am a believer. If you tell me that DarkHydra voted for himself and he won the of course the set 9 EMEA finals, I'm fine. This is perfect for me. I'm okay.
Ryko, are you aware that every player that I've cheered for or I've been biased towards in all my casts until now in my career in TFT have done poorly? I'm a known cursor, unfortunately. So maybe you shouldn't listen to my strategy. But we'll find out. Maybe this weekend you'll prove everyone wrong and you'll prove that I'm a caster blesser. Yeah.
Hopefully. Holy moly, you shouldn't have told me this. Now I've lost my confidence, but it's fine. It's fine. I'm happy with my team. Yeah, they're good players.
All right, we will see the results of the fantasy draft. I'll do it next week on Twitter. It'll be showing up. We won't wait until the next episode because the next episode of EMEA, we'll talk if you don't know, will be next sets. Don't think we'll have a Worlds preview because I'll be traveling to Spain, to Alicante with the event, so I won't be at my own setup, but potentially there might be. So stay tuned on Twitter. Follow Don't Talk If You Don't Know show on Twitter. We can actually link the Twitter really quick in case you guys don't follow already, because all the announcements around the episodes and the guests and when it'll happen will happen there. You can follow our guests on Twitter. You can see the tags under me: ImpetuousPanda, DemacianRaptor, DarkHydra CFT, and Ryko CFT. And you can also follow this Twitch account because all podcasts in the future will be live here. And then you can check the VOD out as well on YouTube. If you search Don't Talk If You Don't Know on YouTube, you will find it, just the initials. And you can check out the NA and the EMEA episodes as well. NA will be happening tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time, which I believe is late night European time. So you can always catch it on YouTube the day after. Thank you all for joining. Thank you, Raptor, for joining last second to take over on Alan's co-hosting duty. I think you did a great job. Hydra, thank you for joining as the current EMEA champion. Ryko, same to you. And hope you guys had fun. Any last shout-outs, any last words you guys want to say, Raptor?
Oh, it was very fun to be here, and I hope we can work together in the future as well.
Hydra?
Yeah, thanks for having me. I had a great time, and I hope I can put on the show in regionals. And good luck, Ryko.
I hope so.
Are you making Worlds again, Hydra? Is that the goal?
That's the goal, yeah.
Is that the minimum?
That's the minimum.
Anything less, you're disappointed?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I wanted to hear. Ryko, for you?
Same for me. Champion? Anything less than Worlds, I'm disappointed. And I also want to be interviewed by the female caster that interviewed Hydra, and I don't remember, she asked him something, and the DarkHydra response was epic in my opinion. He said, I tryharded 16 hours per day, and that's how I won. And this is what I want to say when I will win the World Championship.
So you're all in prep, yeah? You feel confident with your prep? You haven't been playing any scrims, but you feel confident.
I feel confident anyway, but yeah.
He's in a spying role. All right, Ryko, I love to hear that. I know you've been a champion, you know what it feels like from GSC, and hopefully you can transfer that same confidence, that same momentum coming into this weekend. As always, thank you guys for watching. Tune in, of course, this weekend, starting on Friday at 4 p.m. CET, to the official DTIYDK channel to watch the official broadcast. I'll be on the caster's desk, of course. And there will be some very interesting players showing up as well, that I mentioned earlier in the show. Kevin Parker, Juso, Left Overture, and Memo will be able to add their insight and their commentary. And overall, I think we're all excited to hear, what happens this weekend and really get to see everyone playing at their most serious level, their most focused level, and find out what 4 players will make it to Worlds to maybe once again allow us to dream with EMEA, maybe fighting for a championship after so many sets following up on double success in the first ever championship in set 3. So tune in for sure this weekend, and tune in, of course, 2 weeks from now or next weekend for the World Championship broadcast as well. It'll be an absolute blast. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next set with the next episode of Don't Duck If You Know.